Confirmation bias. One of the primary reasons that it can be so hard to dump a paranormal belief once it has set up camp inside your skull is that we all have a natural tendency to cheat. We just don't normally think about our beliefs objectively and honestly. Instead, we tend to focus on and remember anything that confirms the belief, while missing, ignoring, and forgetting everything that contradicts or casts doubt on the belief. This is called confirmation bias, and it can lead the best of us astray. So be on guard. The confirmation bias is one of the most insidious and persuasive bits of software in your head, declares psychology professor Hank Davis, author of Caveman Logic, The Persistence of Primitive Thinking in a Modern World. It is as much a part of being human as having 2 eyes, 1 nose, and 2 feet. To avoid evaluating the world through the confirmation bias, you have got to take conscious steps against it. Even then, there is no guarantee you will succeed. If you allow your mental software to operate on its Pleistocene default settings, you will bring this bias into play. You have been warned. Seeing is believing, and believing is seeing. There should be little doubt that many claimed sightings of ghosts, UFOs, angels, and monsters by sincere witnesses are a result of the way our vision works. Contrary to what you may have assumed, we don't really see what we look at. What happens when you aim your eyes at something is that your brain tells you what you see, and your brain never tells you with 100% accuracy. It does this to be efficient, and it really does help us function in a world with far too much detail and movement to take in. But sometimes this causes us to see things that were never there, or at least not there in the form presented to us. It can also cause us to miss things that really are there. Sometimes things that our vision misses might have been the critical pieces of information that would have revealed to us that the UFO or ghost hovering out there is really just a bird or a patch of fog, for example. Forget what you think you know about memory. What is currently known about human memory should send jarring waves of doubt up and down the spines of every paranormal enthusiast. Memory, researchers have discovered, does not work like a video camera. Many people think our eyes are like camera lenses, and the brain is a hard drive that dutifully records all the images that enter. Not so. There is no such capturing of complete scenes before us, and no such thing as rewind and playback. The reality is that our memories are constructed by our brains. Some things are left out. Some things that never happened are added. And sometimes the order of events is switched around. Weird as it seems, your brain produces the memory that it thinks is needed. 100% accuracy be damned. This means, of course, that all those standalone stories about sightings and encounters with everything from aliens to angels cannot be considered proof of anything, because we know without a doubt that any honest, sane, and sober person can easily remember an event incorrectly through no fault of his own. Human memory is unreliable, which means something more than a story about a personal experience is called for when it comes to extraordinary claims. It also has been shown repeatedly by researchers that we are all highly vulnerable to suggestions and prior beliefs when forming our perception of reality and our recollections of what we experienced. Michael Shermer, founding publisher of Skeptic magazine, has spent more than 30 years researching weird beliefs and talking to everyone from alien abductees to Holocaust deniers to psychics. He thinks that much of irrational belief comes down to belief-dependent realism, the idea that we believe first and then come up with reasons for believing. We form our beliefs for a variety of subjective, personal, emotional, and psychological reasons in the context of environments created by family, friends, colleagues, culture, and society at large. After forming our beliefs, we then defend, justify, and rationalize them with a host of intellectual reasons, cogent arguments, and rational explanations. Beliefs come first. Explanations for beliefs follow. I call this process belief-dependent realism, where our perceptions about reality are dependent on the beliefs that we hold about it. Reality exists independent of human minds, but our understanding of it depends upon the beliefs we hold at any given time. Like it or not, the fact is we can't be sure about everything we see, hear, think, feel, and remember. This has obvious implications for popular beliefs that so intrigue and entrance billions of people around the world. More people need to understand that our brains, wonderful as they are not very good at consistently sorting out reality from fantasy and illusion. Fortunately, we already have a system that is very good at doing just that. Science helps us find our way. An appreciation for science goes hand in hand with constructive skepticism. It's unfortunate that so many people don't appreciate science's greatness and its importance to us. Science is not just a collection of facts and discoveries, or some fringe pursuit of intellectuals. Science is the foundation of our modern world. Our civilization couldn't last one day without the products of the scientific method. However, science can be used by anyone for many different purposes, so no one should ever slip into naive worship or deference to all scientists. Yes, science may generate cures and vaccines for diseases, feed billions through scientific agriculture, and reveal the working of the universe. But it is also the source of weapons with the potential to destroy humanity. Science may be necessary and wonderful, but it is only as good as the person using its methods. More than anything, science is a method for figuring out and discovering things in our universe. It is also through science that we can best determine whether or not something is real. If something cannot be proven scientifically, it may still be real or true, but this would be a very good reason to have strong doubts until it is. We know science works because it has a record of success far superior to anything else. Even supernatural and paranormal believers rely on science and technology when they could try solutions more in line with their beliefs. People who need to communicate with someone far away don't use ESP, they pick up the phone. People who want to visit a place that is far away don't use astral projection, they board an airplane. Many believers in alternative medicine still turn to medical science when struck by a serious illness or injury. Why do most people who believe in a utopian afterlife fear death and avoid it at all costs? A final point to keep in mind when thinking about paranormal, supernatural, and pseudoscientific beliefs is that letting go of them is not necessarily a sacrifice. Not only can thinking skeptically be safer and more economical over the course of a lifetime, it doesn't have to be any less fun either. Whatever I may have lost by not believing in things like astrology and ghosts, I am confident that I more than make up for it by embracing reality with great enthusiasm. All scientific discoveries to date, and all the mysteries still to be solved, excite me, and I find plenty of reason for optimism and hope, even amid harsh realities. In my opinion, plenty of comfort and joy can be found in friends, family, romance, creative work, adventure, art, acts of kindness, nature, and fun in all its forms. I understand that it may feel comforting or stabilizing to believe that invisible forces influence us, but it can also be comforting and stabilizing to realize that as humans, we are smart enough and strong enough to face up to the universe as it really is and get on with our lives.